preschoolers. We are going to continue talking about birds today, and I've got a couple stories for us to read. Remember how earlier this week and other times at school we would talk about fiction and nonfiction books? So I'm going to read two books. So I want you to decide which one do you think was the fiction book. Remember, the fiction means that it's fantasy, make-believe, not true. And then the nonfiction book gives us facts, important information that we can learn about something. Okay, so this story is called Baby Bird's First Nest. One night, Baby Bird rolled over in her sleep, tumbled out of her nest, and woke up with a thump. Baby Bird wasn't hurt, but she was very frightened. Have you ever felt frightened? That means like when you're scared. Darkness loomed all around her. Even the moon looked cold and scary. "Mama, help me!" she cried. But Mama Bird was fast asleep. Beneath Baby Bird's tree lived a little frog. "What are you croaking about?" he asked. "I fell out of my nest," Baby Bird said, flapping her tiny wings, "and I just can't get back." Little Frog climbed out of his pond. "I was going for a moonlight swim. Do you want to come along?" "I just want to go back to my mama and my nest," sniffled Baby Bird. "Oh, don't worry, your mama will find you in the morning," said Little Frog. "Well, the morning's a long way off," replied Baby Bird. "What shall I do until then?" "Why not build your own nest?" asked Little Frog. "Oh, I've never built a nest before," sighed Baby Bird. "Neither have I," said Little Frog, "but I'd be glad to help you." So Baby Bird and Little Frog set to work building a nest. They gathered twigs and pine needles to make the outside, and then they lined the inside with birch bark and deer grass. When the nest was all finished, Baby Bird hopped inside and chirped. "It's beautiful and cozy, too." With a skip and a jump, a little frog flipped himself into the nest. "Kind of scratchy for my taste, though," he croaked. "Of course you'd think that. You're a frog," said Baby Bird, "but it's perfect for me." Then she sighed with relief. "Ah, my very first nest." Baby Bird snuggled down and soon began to feel sleepy, but Little Frog sat up straight. "I hear paws," he croaked. "Quick, follow me." Little Frog leaped out of the nest and into the pond. Ker-plunk. Baby Bird looked up and saw a hungry raccoon. "If I jump in the pond, I'll drown," she thought, but she scrambled out of her nest and she fled in the opposite direction. Baby Bird spied a low branch above her head. She crouched down, flapped her tiny wings, and hopped up onto the branch. Raccoon stood on his hind legs. Baby Bird closed her eyes, trembling with fear, but Raccoon couldn't reach her. Raccoon hunted in the water until he found a fish to eat. When he was gone, Little Frog swam ashore and went looking for Baby Bird. He looked in the nest. It was empty. He looked behind the nest and even under the nest. "Oh my," he said, "Raccoon got Baby Bird." "No, he didn't. I'm up here." "How did you get up there?" asked Little Frog. "Well, I hopped up," replied Baby Bird. "If you can hop up there, then you can hop back to your nest," said Little Frog. "I can't hop that far," gasped Baby Bird. "Yeah, sure you can," said Little Frog, "if you take it just one hop at a time. Here, I'll show you." And he hopped to Baby Bird's perch. "Now, follow me," he said, and he hopped to a branch above her head. "Can you do that?" "Sure," chirped Baby Bird. "Good," said Little Frog, and he hopped to the next higher branch. Little Frog hopped, and Baby Bird followed higher and higher, all the way back to her nest. "Mama, I am home," she cried. Slowly, Mama Bird opened her eyes. "Of course you are, my darling," she said with a yawn. "But what are you doing out there?" Mama Bear lifted Baby Bird into the nest. "Mama," cried Baby Bird, "I've had the most wonderful adventure." "Yes, yes," Mama Bird yawned again. "You can tell me about it in the morning." And soon Mama Bird was fast asleep. "Your mama's really nice," said Little Frog. "Do you want to sleep in our nest tonight?" asked Baby Bird. Little Frog thought for a moment. "Too scratchy," he replied. "So what are you going to do now?" asked Baby Bird. "I guess I'll finish that moonlight swim," said Little Frog. "Get ready for the highest dive that you have ever saw." Thanks, I had fun, said Baby Bird. Me too, said Little Frog. Will I ever see you again? Asked Baby Bird. I certainly hope so, croaked Little Frog, and he dove into the night. The end. Okay, so remember, think about that. If you think that book was a fiction, a fantasy, just pretend story, or if you think that was a nonfiction book, okay? Because I've got another one to read, and it's about a robin. And I bet that you've seen lots of robins around, and you've probably heard them. Robins are a bird that we always see in the springtime. I even have a little robin here. Yeah. All right, so this story is called From Chick to Robin. Robins sing in the springtime. Robins gather dry grass. How do the robins carry the grass? In their mouth, right? With their beak. They build their nest. See how they're using the dry grass for that? The mother lays 3 to 5 eggs. What color are the eggs? See how they're blue with some speckles? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this nest, there's 5 eggs. Do you think that's something that if we would ever see a robin's nest, or any bird's nest for that matter, underneath our deck or in a tree, do you think we should be touching that? No, you're right. Best just to leave that for the robin. She sits on the eggs, and the eggs hatch. They look pretty hungry, don't they? The chicks are certainly hungry. How many chicks do you see? 1, 2, 3. Here's a little one here, 4. See how she's feeding them? Worms. The father helps to feed the chicks too. He guards the nest. See how you can see he's protecting it right here? The young robin learns how to fly. Do you see their feathers? Soon they fly away. Robins feed on fruit and berries, and this robin found a juicy worm to eat. See how he's getting it from his beak because it was in the ground? So, let's see. So we read these 2 stories. What do you think? If you thought that this one was our fiction story, the one about fantasy and make-believe, you're right. We don't hear birds and frogs talk to each other. It would be kind of fun, right? But no, that doesn't really happen. And this one was our nonfiction story. That one gave us facts and pictures about robins. All right, I've got a little song for us. Move this a little closer.